around your friends, but do you have any other kind of like more scientific data which supports this method?
Okay, thank you for asking. I'm not sure this is the data or not, but in the United States there is an education called social emotional learning, and this education is focusing on students' personality and their interest. So I think like this is very near to Utopia method. That's because both are focusing on intrinsic motivation. So that's it.
Okay, very good. Well, my last question. I do understand the Utopia method. I'm very convinced, but I want to know why we are not being able to do this. I understand the concept, and yeah, but why don't we have the Utopia mindset in our mind right now?
Okay, thank you for asking. So I think like there are so many reasons, but one clear reason is that we are too familiar with where we belong. Like I go to Tokyo University, but as times goes by, I think I feel bored because I feel too familiar with my university life of Tokyo. So I recommend you to challenge new things or dive into new places. Is the key to find intrinsic motivation.
Okay, very good. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota and Mr. Kishi. Now, it is judging time. Thank you, the Master of Ceremonies, distinguished judges, all organizers and audiences, my grandma. Hey Natsuki, is it Wednesday today? No, it's Friday. Hey Natsuki, is it Sunday today? No, it's Friday. Hey Natsuki, is it Tuesday? No, today is Friday. This is a conversation I've had at least 10,000 times. I am living with my grandma. She was diagnosed with dementia about 7 years ago. Before that, she never forgot things. Whenever I asked her something, she could always understand like many other people. You may think this is a very ordinary thing. However, at some point, she began to forget things more and more often. Today I'm here to tell you how to get along with dementia. In an article from the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, 15% of elderly have dementia in 2012. This number is expected to increase to 20% in 2025 because of the aging population, with about 7 million people with memory loss. This means 1 out of every 5 elderly has that condition. So your family or people around you may develop this. You may also develop this. Please listen while imagining what it would be like if someone around you or yourself had dementia. I moved to my grandma's house last year. I lived with with nobody but my grandmother, my beloved grandma. I was very excited at first, but I soon got to know it was hard. She asked the same questions just minutes after I answered them. She got lost at the station, restaurant, and around the house. Every day, I felt stressed. One day I lost my temper and yelled at her because she forgot that I said I didn't need dinner. Even though I knew she had dementia, I still refused to accept it and continued expecting her to remember things. The gap between expectation and reality increased my stress and also my grandma's because she became afraid to talk to me. One night, I found she was crying in the kitchen lonely. At that moment, I realized I had done something wrong, very wrong. According to the Japanese Association of Internal Medicine Lifelong Education lecture in 2022, it is sometimes complicated for caregivers to communicate with people with dementia. Consequently, they tend to care for the patient forcibly. Then that action causes onset of behavioral and psychological symptoms of dementia or BPSD, such as anxiety, abnormal behavior, and hallucinations. When I saw this article, I realized my behavior toward my grandma was the potential cause of her worsening symptoms. The more I refused to accept her disease and blame her, the more she felt stressed. I regretted it so much and apologized to her. Then I thought the same situation could happen in other families as well. When my mom and I were talking about my grandma, she mentioned an attitude to me. Humanity. It's a caregiving technique developed by Yves Genest, a French expert in physical education. Humanity has 4 methods: seeing, talking, touching, and verticality. Then I added a new one: smiling, something I found truly powerful through my life with my grandma. The first and second ones are seeing and talking. When we talk to patients, we should get close to 20 centimeters and stare into their eyes so they can understand easily. I tried with my grandma and she asked fewer questions that day. She said, it would be difficult to receive the word directly if you talked from afar. There are lots of things that disturb my concentration. If people get within 20 centimeters close and say something, I can focus and understand it easily. Thirdly, touching. When we communicate with patients, try to connect through touch. We'll feel an emotional connection. I sometimes massage her shoulder or take a bath with her. Then I can feel she's relaxed. The fourth one, verticality, means encouraging them to stand up for more than 20 minutes per day. It can help them to maintain a sense of dignity. Lastly, smiling. If we laugh together, we can feel closer and connected. For the patients, they can feel accepted and secure. Sometimes at home, I laugh out loud with my grandma. Her face turns into a bright, happy one. The smile is very important for easing her anxiety. Previously, Grandma seems like she was lost in her own world, and I always talked to her from afar with an angry face and voice. She couldn't understand, and I was irritated by that situation. But from the day I learned what humanity, I began trying to accept illness and find ways to live in harmony with it by the 4 methods plus smiling. Now she doesn't seem spaced out, and I also feel less stressed by trying to accept and embrace her condition. Fortunately, my grandma's dementia symptoms are not very severe, However, if you care for someone who has severe symptoms, don't forget that there is many support for you. Rather than focusing on care based on moving into facilities, communities are starting to work together to support people with dementia. Let's not only fight against dementia, but learn to live with it. Remember the 4 methods of humanity: seeing, talking, touching, verticality, plus smiling. Let's see beyond forgetfulness. Thank you.
Now, we have a 3 minutes question and answer period. Mr. Kubota, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Natsuki-san. So now you live with your grandmother, and she's here, right? Very good to hear that. And I just wonder what your parents are doing for this, for your grandma and for you.
My parents are living in different prefecture, and my mother and father is also working. So yeah, but sometimes my mother came to Yokohama and helped, like gathering the paper, a lot of paper, and also newspaper, and asked my grandmother how is so.
Okay, so the main thing you're doing, very good to hear that. I think that is you're very lucky because your grandma is very lucky because they have you and your families, your parents, including of course, as a support. But looking at society, there are some people who live alone, or maybe they have their partner, but they are also old. So in Japanese word, maybe say like dokai or something like that. So what should we do in this kind of case? Maybe it's not a matter of humanitude, but this kind of problem is actually happening in society. So what do you think that must be done?
I think it is very important to share the information about what their communities are doing for the patient. For example, in Yokohama City, we can procedure the names of the dementia patients, and when the patients got lost, we can call the communities, and the community members, some members can come and find the patients together or something. So it is important to share what the communities can do for the patients.
Okay, maybe my last question. You added the smiling concept in the humanity concept, and that's very nice to hear that. But no matter how hard we try to keep on smiling, because we all are humans, we have emotions, so maybe we can't just bear it and become furious to the grandma or grandpa, something like that. So how can we avoid it? Or is it a natural thing? It's kind of something like that.
Okay. Actually, the humanitude and also smiling is used in the hospital for the severe symptoms, for dementia patients that have severe symptoms. So, and also it is important to understand the symptoms of dementia deeply. So, at first, we have to understand the symptoms of dementia, but it is sometimes difficult to keep smiling. But I recommend if the patients mistake or something, it is important to change the mistake to a smile. It's very, very important. And if you understand the dementia symptoms deeply, you can easily change into laughter. So, I recommend to understand the dementia symptoms deeply, and change into the laughter.
Okay, thank you very much for your heartwarming speech.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kubota and Mr. Shima. Now, it is judging time.